Drive 2 hours to see my biological mother at her restaurant. She unknowingly serves her own son and calls me honey. I, 24 male, was given up for adoption. My parents told me about her, which my biological mother that had me when she was 14, growing up. I still have the letter she wrote me that she asked if they could give it to me if they wanted. It's crazy reading it sometimes and knowing it was a literal child who wrote it saying she's sorry she couldn't be my mommy but she hopes I'm happy. She was open to having contact but we moved for my dad's job when I was 11 and then it seemed impossible to find her. But luckily I did. She's working at this small restaurant and I keep going but she doesn't know it's me. We talk sometimes. And she seems like a nice lady. Sometime when she says something like do you want a refill, honey, or uses another term like that I want to tell her. Quiet makes me nervous. We talk sometimes and she seems really genuine. If it's not super busy she's more open to talking about random stuff. I literally drive 2 hours to come eat at this place just to see her. And it's like she knows me already because I'm there once or 2 times a week for the past 3 months so she always says hi with a big smile. But man, if only she knew update 1. Well, I did it, I told her. And yeah, it was pretty heavy. My heart was even beating fast. I kept trying to think how to tell her. Many of the comments on my last post here mentioned writing her a letter just how she wrote a letter for me. Originally that was the plan but for me it felt like I needed to say it. Oh, really quick I want to say thanks to everyone for their love and support. Mostly to all the birth parents out there who shared their stories with me. That's what really helped push me to have the courage to confront her. It meant so much, so thanks. Everything happened day before yesterday BTW. I did wait for her to be done with her shift and that was when they were closing the restaurant already. And waited in the parking lot. We said hi when she saw me first but then I told her there was something serious that she needed to know. First told her sorry for keeping it from her this long. She didn't react until I actually pulled out her letter. And she started bawling from there. Like screaming and crying at the same time, and didn't even have to finish the whole "I'm your son" speech. She just saw it and knew. It was crazy. Next thing I know she's hugging me instantly but then she pulled back and asked if it's okay to hug me. OFC it is and we're just there hugging and crying in the parking lot. It hit her hard though. Her legs gave out for a second so I had to actually hold her up while she's still hugging me for a minute. What really got me was her saying to me, "Look how big you got." Also hearing her cry made me cry too. She went back to open the restaurant up, she wouldn't take no for an answer. We had coffee, ate a slice of their pie inside and talked. So many stuff we talked about. She told me the second time I came to the restaurant she got a feeling but for her it was hard to believe it was me. So that feeling she had was pushed way down. Because she told me for years after I was adopted she saw kids that would be my age and used to think they were me. Then she would be crying in public. It fucked with her mind a lot and made her depressed so she didn't want to do the same when she saw me, getting her hopes up like that. She says I look so much like my biological dad when he was younger though. We talked about him too. They stayed in contact with each other in case I ever reached out to one of them so it would be easier to contact the other. I didn't have hope about finding my biological dad since he was never mentioned so I'm glad they both planned for this future scenario. She told me about how they wanted to keep me. Especially my biological dad, he didn't want me to be adopted. But he knew they had to because they were just kids. It took him a long time to get past it after I was born, she told me. That's why he didn't leave anything because he didn't want to believe he might not see me again. We talked for hours. Till almost 2 in the morning, they closed at 11. She just wanted to know everything about me but her main thing was am I happy? Were my parents good to me? Did I have a happy childhood? And I did. I told her thank you for helping to give me this life. We both cried again. She cried the most. Everything was very emotional for her. Sometimes she would look really happy but then get sad again. After my 18th birthday she was hoping I would find her, that's why she stayed in the same city. But since I didn't she always thought maybe I resented her, wasn't told I'm adopted, or maybe had decided it was better not to have her around. It made me feel bad for not telling her sooner. She told me it's not my fault and I did right going at my own pace. Honestly she's so sweet. The way she kept looking at me with the biggest smile, it made me emotional sometimes. Makes you think how can someone who's been a total stranger her whole life look at you with so much love? It's wild. We learned so much about each other. She asked me if we could have dinner soon to keep talking, and if at some point in the future if I'm interested come over to her house so I can meet her husband. That all sounded really great. We exchanged numbers. After I left she sent a text telling me thank you for giving her this gift that she didn't know if it would ever come. My girlfriend came over and she hugged me while I cried. I wasn't sad BTW, these were happy tears. Everything went better than I expected. Update 2, lots of you asked to let you know how it goes meeting my biological dad and to say it was emotional is an understatement. I've been feeling so many things since this all happened. We met a few days ago. Was originally supposed to be almost 2 weeks ago but shit kept coming up. Work and then I got sick, not COVID, for days. But we made it happen. TBH this was more nervous for me because I didn't know anything about him. With my biomom it was different because I watched her from far and got to know her a little before it came out. I asked my biomom if she could be there too just because she knows him better so it was the two of us waiting for him at this park. He was already crying before we even got to him. This guy is strong too so he pulled me in for the biggest bear hug and crying. He told me he wants me to know that they loved me so much and he loves me. I lost count how many times he'd come back in for one more hug. This definitely got to him. And he kept saying, "Thank you God," a few times. Looking at my face. The feelings, man, the feelings. We had so many of them. Hearing him tell me how much they loved me even back then. It meant so much for me to hear that, an NGL that had me holding him tight too. I'm sure to everyone at the park it was weird seeing 3 crying people, lol. My bio dad said he cried so many times just driving over here he didn't think he had any more tears until he saw us. When we were all sitting down it hit me that my bio mom was not lying when she said we look alike. Obviously he's older, but still, holy shit, the similarities. He brought gifts too, which was a surprise. It was really nice. He told me I don't have to keep them if I don't want it, but he felt weird not coming with anything and he's wanted to give this to me for a long time. One was a teddy bear holding a picture frame of him at the hospital holding me. He was 15 years old, it's still crazy to realize that. And then the other thing was a journal. The journal thing was stuff he said he started writing to me years after I was adopted. He was in therapy and that helped him to cope, thinking he would give them to me one day. His way of still feeling connected to me. I haven't read everything yet, but some of the pages were his thoughts and like if he's talking to me. How he felt when they found out she was pregnant, then the adoption, everything going on in his mind when he first got to hold me as a baby. I didn't even know he was at the hospital too. It was not what I was expecting. It really got me. I read some more of what he wrote last night that really got me crying. I'm sad to think how much this affected them emotionally for years. Also think it's pretty sweet he wanted to write this for me. We talked about his own life, which was pretty hard. His struggles with home life and the feelings he had about giving me up. Then he wanted to know everything about me. Basically with the same questions my bio mom had. I made sure they knew they made the right decision. Because my life was pretty great. He looked like he wanted to cry when he knew that, because that's all they hoped for and it was something he always wondered about, for years. My bio mom left a bit after we were more comfortable so we could talk more in private once it didn't feel too awkward between us. From there he told me stories about how he met my bio mom. Sometimes he'd point out stuff he noticed about me that reminds him of her or me and him having similar likes. Example, I love eating mangoes. I can eat them all day and that's what I bought when we bought snacks at the park. He told me my bio mom was obsessed with mangoes 7 before she got pregnant. While pregnant she craved it even more. Just cool info to know even if it's random stuff, lol. It's still stuff we have in common and we both have lots. Both like hiking, playing pool, he was a swimmer in college and I was on a swim team in high school, both love rock music. Especially 90s. My bio dad was really open about sharing everything. Like he really was getting ready for this meeting. He hoped it would happen and he prayed every day to see me again because he had so many things he wanted to tell me. Overall really good first meeting. I'm glad how it went. He's open to the idea of meeting my parents. After I told them about all this, because they definitely want to meet my bio parents again if I'm comfortable with that, obviously if my bio parents are too. Let's see when that happens. I'd how it's gonna feel for me. They've met each other before I was even born, but I never had them at the same place, so that'll be interesting, lol. Me and my parents met up yesterday to have breakfast so I could tell them everything. My mom was so happy how it went. She actually cried too when I was telling them about both their reactions. My dad was proud because he knew how hard it was the months after finding my bio mom and not really wanting to make contact yet. I'm really happy to have their support because it's hard not to feel guilty about wanting to know more my bio parents. They gave me a really good life, so for a while it's felt like maybe to them I'm showing them that wasn't good enough for me and I'd rather have my bio parents. But they told me many times they want me to do this for me and they know how much I love them. And I really do. Finding them and meeting them was hard. But it was so worth it to me, and seeing their reactions made it feel even more worth it. Still can't believe it sometimes. I'm just realizing this has turned into a long post, my bad, haha. Writing this has been therapeutic tbh. Kind of thinking back to everything that's happened. Feeling really grateful. Update 3. Okay, so, wow, life decided to put this whole saga in overdrive. I keep telling myself I should write things down as they happen, but then I get lost just living in it, and next thing I know, I've got a month and a half's worth of updates to untangle. For everyone who's reached out or followed this wild ride, here's your next twist. Things have gotten even crazier and, honestly, deeper than I could have ever planned for. So let's start with the most recent thing. There was a birthday. Not mine, but my bio mom's. I found out from her, she just offhand mentioned she was almost 39, and my bio dad texted me later, like, hey, we're getting some people together for a little dinner at Luis's, you should come if you can. Luis is apparently their favorite Mexican restaurant, and you'd think a simple dinner would be, just a dinner. But nothing has really been simple since November. I get there and it's like the United Nations of emotions. Bio mom, her husband, who I was low-key nervous to meet because what if he feels weird about me? Turns out he's literally the chillest guy ever, loves motorcycles and just wants to know if I'm into working on engines, 2 little kids, my half-siblings, and then on the other end of the table, bio dad and his new wife, who is super friendly but also intense in a I will protect this grown man still grieving lost time with his son kind of way. I sit down directly across from my little siblings, who keep glancing at me and whispering. No one at the table except me and the grown-ups knew who I really was, so it starts just like a regular family dinner, tons of over-talking and plates of salsa being passed everywhere. After a while, Biomom asks everyone to quiet down and says, "Hey, so, we have a special guest tonight. This is," and then she looks at me and asks if it's okay for her to tell them. I nod because at that point it just felt right. She tells them, quietly but clear, "This is your brother." The little girl just sits there, staring at me with her huge round eyes, and then suddenly asks, "If you're my brother, how come I never saw you before?" Which had the adults almost choking on their tacos. I just said, "It's a long story, but maybe your mom can tell you when we're at home." They both seemed to just accept it and spent the rest of the meal asking me questions about Ninja Turtles and what video games I play. The whole night just made my head spin in the best way. There's this moment when they brought out the cake, and my bio mom had her arm around me, and I caught my bio dad grinning, the big, slightly goofy grin I always saw in my own pictures, and I realized, this is what real, messy, patchwork family can feel like. I left Luis's with enough leftovers to feed a baseball team and about 100 texts from my bio dad after just saying, "Thank you for letting me be here for this." But that's only the beginning. The next week, my bio dad and my adoptive dad met for coffee. Yes. For real. My bio dad suggested it after he found out my adoptive parents wanted to meet. I didn't want to push too fast, but they both were game, so I set it up. I have never in my life seen my dad, the man who instilled a healthy respect of "we don't talk to strangers at McDonald's" into me, look that nervous, but 5 minutes and they're talking like two dads at a hardware store, arguing about how early is too early for a teenage boy to be on a riding mower. They talked about me a lot, a little weird to sit silently while they trade my high school stories, but I realized how much each of them cared about being a good dad in his own way. My adoptive dad told my bio dad, "You raised a good one," and my bio dad kind of choked up and just nodded. That hit harder than I thought it would. Both of them wanted a photo together with me in the middle. Classic awkward dad arm placements on my shoulders. Things with my bio parents have sort of settled into this new, weird, but awesome rhythm. Bio mom texted me about her daughter's soccer game and invited me to come. Her husband was there too, and he explained his side of everything. How he met my mom years after the adoption, how he knew about me, how he told her if I ever came back he'd support whatever she needed. He mostly wanted to make sure I knew I didn't have to feel weird around their kids, that it was okay to just be me, whatever that looked like for them. He also, just out of nowhere, gave me this packet of photos from when the kids were each babies, just so you can see your siblings growing up, even if you weren't there. That made me cry, no shame. Oh. Random but significant, my girlfriend finally got to meet everyone, bio mom, her husband, the kids, bio dad and his wife, all in one go at a game night at bio mom's place. She is a world champion at not being awkward, so she fit in instantly, teaching my little brother how to cheat politely at Uno. She told me afterward she's proud of me for making space for all these relationships, even though sometimes I freeze up and overthink, literally everything. The last big thing, this might sound small, but for me it's massive. I finally showed my bio parents the tattoo I got after college. It's a little mango, of course, on my arm. Both my bio parents teared up. My bio dad asked if he could take a picture of it, and my bio mom said she'll never look at mangoes the same way again. I honestly never thought I'd be part of a story like this. Last year, my life was just the daily grind, friends and work, wondering sometimes where parts of me came from. Now I have double the family and triple the love, and yeah, sometimes triple the confusion about how to organize Thanksgiving, but still. My biological and adoptive families are standing in the same room not because they have to, but because they care about me, and that's the wildest feeling to walk around with. I keep thinking back to that letter my bio mom wrote when she was a kid, how terrified and hopeful she must have been about all the things she'd miss. It still destroys me sometimes, but now, I feel like I can give her something back, a new chapter, a seat at the table, some inside jokes to make up for lost time. Update 4. I think the universe is conspiring to fill every blank page in my life because, the last few weeks have felt like some emotional movie marathon with a side of "are you kidding me?" Plot developments. I honestly keep waiting for the weird calm to come, but nope, it's all just accelerating like someone mashed the gas pedal. Okay, first wild thing, my bio mom's husband, Paul, the motorcycle guy, calls me out of nowhere on a Thursday morning. I thought maybe I left something at their house. Nope. Turns out my little sister Lily wrote a family tree project for school and put my name right at the top, didn't even ask, just plopped Big Brother next to her drawing of me complete with the little mango tattoo drawn on my arm. Her teacher apparently called my bio mom, totally confused, thinking Lily was making up an imaginary sibling because they'd never heard of me before. My bio mom called the teacher back and basically gave them the G-rated, "Yes, he exists, he's my son from before, he found us and we get to know him now" version. They ended up inviting me to their family day at school. Get this, there was a whole presentation with photos and kids interviews, and Lily flat out tells her class, "I have the best brother because he came all the way from a secret family and taught me how to play Mario Kart. Plus, he orders extra mango ice cream." Paul whispered to me, "You know that's code for you were literally a miracle to her, right?" My brain was just mush at that point. Second, you guys, my bio dad's family reached out. Until now it was just my dad and his wife, but then his younger sister, my aunt, texted me out of the blue after dad told her everything. She wanted to meet, so I went to her house. She had this entire basket of photos she'd gathered with notes like your dad at prom and your BB cousin, your first photo, technically, together. I met my two cousins, both about my age, both total goofballs. Somehow, sharing stories about terrible high school jobs in which one of us is more likely to burn microwave popcorn. It was like the cosmic game of catch-up. My aunt told me how, after my adoption, the family never talked about me much. They thought it would be too painful for my dad, but she always wondered what life you grew into. She hugged me when I left, said, "You're here now. That's all that matters." Then, not to be outdone, my adoptive parents turned up on a Sunday with a photo album they made, just out of the blue, titled A Life Well Loved. It had every silly childhood photo, school play, camping trip, plus a letter from both of them to me, talking about what it meant to raise me and how proud they are that I built bridges between families. My adoptive mom is now on texting terms with my bio mom. They swap recipes and memes about being tired and loving boys who never remember to call. I'm not making this up, they sent me the same meme about laundry on the same day. Parallel mom thoughts, I guess, but the thing that made everything feel impossibly real happened last weekend. My birthday, the first one where everyone, bio family and adoptive family, knew each other existed. I always hated the awkward who do I celebrate with? Problem, but this time, both families insisted on one party. It snowballed, people brought way too much food, there was a mango decorated cake, cliché, I know, but honestly the best I've had, and at one point about 17 people were gathered in the backyard, trading stories and watching my little siblings run wild with my cousins. I sat there just, blown away. My dads were manning the grill together like they'd been doing it for years. My bio mom folded napkins with my adoptive mom like secret besties. My two little siblings wrapped themselves around me, demanding I teach them how to play hacky sack. My girlfriend, fully merged into the chaos, helped the aunts avoid burning the chips. As if that wasn't enough, right when we cut the cake, my bio dad slid me a card. Inside was a picture of us from our first meeting, folded next to a tiny, very battered hospital bracelet, the one with my newborn name on it. He said he kept it all these years hoping I'd want it someday. My bio mom gave me a small velvet box with a silver charm inside, a mango shape on one side and enough love for a lifetime engraved on the other. She wrote me a note that just said, "For every year we missed, a lifetime to make up for it." I lost it. A few minutes later, I noticed my adoptive dad hugging my bio dad in the kitchen. No one said anything about it, but I'll remember that moment forever. I've gotten questions from friends, "Dude, what is your actual life right now?" But honestly, this is my real life now. Messy, huge, full of people learning to love in whatever way they can. Sometimes I worry about screwing up, saying too much, not enough, loving one side more than the other, but every single parent keeps telling me, you don't have to choose. Turns out, they're right. It's a wild gift, a crazy, ongoing reunion, and if last year me could see this, I think he'd be shocked by how good it turned out. My favorite part? I am not a secret anymore. I'm a son twice over, a big brother, a cousin, someone with a double handful of parents' phone numbers and way too many leftovers after every party. Next up, all the moms want to go mango picking this summer. I have a feeling it's going to be the weirdest, happiest, most complicated day yet. But that's okay. Because now, whatever comes next, it's not something I face alone. Update 5. Where do I even start? I feel like every week something spins that's either emotional, hilarious, or just plain surreal. About a month ago, the infamous mango picking trip happened. All three moms, bio, adoptive, and step, and yes, they have a group chat now, spent an entire week roasting each other about who's got the greenest thumbs. Answer, none of them. They all nearly got heatstroke and my little half-brother wound up with a mild rash after using a mango leaf as a pretend superhero cape, but that's just par for the course with these lunatics. We loaded everyone, including my cousins, my girlfriend, Paul, bio mom's husband, and stepmom, into a caravan of cars for the hour-long drive. My dads rode together, arguing classic rock trivia and pretending they weren't scoping recipes on their phones. On the way there, my adoptive mom joked that we should attach stickers to everyone's shirts clarifying which kind of mom they were to avoid confusing the orchard employees. At the orchard, Lily, my half-sister, and my little cousin kept calling me the Mango King, crowning me with a leaf hat for services rendered in sibling reunification, which is a title I never imagined holding. I kept thinking I should be nervous, but there was so much chaos and laughter, my two families fighting over who could climb the highest, my girlfriend trying to mediate after Paul tried to organize a race carting mangoes back to the car, he lost, the cart broke, we got stuck in mud, Lily cried/laughed/ all of the above, that it left no room for awkwardness. Lunch that day was this mad potluck in the orchard's picnic area, recipes swapped across family lines, mango salsa from my bio mom's side, potato salad from my adoptive grandma, my stepmom's legendary fried chicken, my girlfriend's experimental vegan wraps that my dad bravely powered through. He later admitted, actually, not bad, if you soak them in enough mango juice. We had 3 cakes, because, apparently, every flavor is necessary for a properly blended family, plus enough fruit to run a sidewalk stand. It all felt very modern American Family meets The Muppet Show, especially when people started trading embarrassing stories about me. Remember those knitted mango hats you used to wear? Thanks, Aunt Linda. But it wasn't just fun and food. Up on a little hill above the orchard, Bio Mom handed me her original letter again, gingerly, like it was a relic. We sat there, the 2 of us, while the others set up for bad group photos. She said, "Sometimes I wonder how everything would feel now if I hadn't written this. But mostly I'm just grateful I got to know this version of you, who you became." I told her I wouldn't change anything, because every piece, every missed birthday or silly letter or awkward first dinner, made this strange new world, a world where her and my mom can debate the merits of mango margaritas in front of me. She hugged me and said, "You know, I was terrified you wouldn't forgive me for letting you go." I told her that letter saved all of us. Bio Dad climbed up a bit later and handed me another stack of pages, more entries added to his journal for me, this time reflecting on stuff since we met. I'm starting to think I'll have to put these all together someday, maybe for my own kids, so they know how many wild people have their back. His latest entries included how he started talking to his own dad again, after years of painful silence. My return sort of shook some old grudges loose. They're not all the way there, but he wanted me to know that hearing from you gave him permission to try. If that wasn't enough emotion for one patch of orchard, my adoptive mom and bio mom sneaked off together near the farm stand. I looked over and saw them hunched, laughing, sharing a pint of mango ice cream while they scrolled through each other's phones comparing, and roasting, my haircuts from age 2 through 24. When they walked back, my adoptive mom patted me on the back and said, "You gave us each a missing piece, even if it took a little longer." But the universe was not done. Shortly after the orchard thing, I got a call from Aunt Mel, Bio Dad's sister. She started with, "You sitting down? Because I've got one for the books." Apparently, the local news was running a feature on adoption reunions for National Adoption Month, and guess who got nominated by a certain enthusiastic little sister with a flair for storytelling? My brother found us because my mom wrote a letter when she was 14, he loves mangoes, and my grandma says he's a miracle. I'll spare you the full roller coaster of the next week, but yes, they wanted to interview us. At first, I was hesitant, didn't want to seem performative or drag anyone into weird public feelings, but both my families talked it over and agreed, this might help other adoptees or birth parents find their own hope. So suddenly my spring was full of phone interviews, awkward makeup sessions, and my dad's trying to not look weird on camera. The best part? I got to talk about how lucky I was, how adoption gave me security and a home, how reunion gave me answers and family roots, and how both sides only worked because the grown-ups, eventually, did what was hardest, put love before pride or old wounds. Lily got her moment on camera and told the world, he's the best brother because now our family is extra big. And he taught me that mangoes are lucky. Cue everyone melting. After the segment aired, something unbelievable happened. I started getting letters, real ones, from people who saw our story, other adoptees, birth parents, people wondering what to say to their own lost and found kids. My bio mom got a letter from another woman in the same town who'd let her baby go for adoption and never knew what became of her son. "Your hope gave me hope," she wrote. My bio dad got one from a guy who never met his birth son after a teenage pregnancy in the 90s. He said he's going to try and reach out. I can't pretend it's perfect all the time. Sometimes, it's awkward. Sometimes, I leave a family dinner too full of stories, needing to figure out where I fit in the middle of all these lives. Sometimes, I mess up, forget to answer a text, call the wrong mom when I'm sick, or realize I still don't quite know how to be a big brother to a 6-year-old who wants to stuff her closet with mango plushies because it reminds me of you. But life is big, messy, loud, good. Holidays are already chaotic scheduling puzzles. Both moms are trying to enforce equal grandma time at Thanksgiving. Pray for me. My girlfriend, ever the diplomat, has declared me a walking example of positive confusion, and I guess she's right. Last weekend, the families came together again, this time to celebrate my bio dad's birthday. At his request, my 2 dads grilled together, this time as a team. In between burgers and teasing me about my inability to light a charcoal chimney, the 2 dads drafted the rules for blended family game nights. Rule 1, Uno is banned due to last time's incident. Paul knows what he did. Before we finished, bio mom raised her glass, looked around at everyone, her husband, the kids, my parents, my cousins, my girlfriend, and said, "I hope everyone who ever wonders if they can have more family knows, yes, you can. And sometimes you find more love than you ever thought." So, here I am, twice the parents, triple the siblings, a mountain of new cousins, a story that keeps surprising me every week, a tattoo that's turned into a family-wide inside joke, and enough mango recipes to keep us all in sugar highs for a year. I don't know what's next, I can only guess more family chaos, texts from half-siblings at 3 a.m., and, if the universe is feeling extra, maybe someone else's "Hey, I think I'm your cousin?" DM landing in my inbox.